I've got a really bad feeling about this. I think I cocked it up. I think I've really messed this up. Hi folks, and welcome back to The Plot. I am like giddy. I'm so excited already because I've just been to the glaziers and I've just picked up the new glass. The new glass. We're going to get this greenhouse looking absolutely perfect today. That's the plan. Anyway, I want to replace the bits of tired old Perspex and polycarbonate in the front. I'm hoping I can actually reuse some of this in a cold frame or something like that, so it's not like it's going to go in the bin. There's a pane up the top as well, which is cracked and letting water in, so I'm very excited to fix that one. And then maybe the ambitious goal, you know, the stretch goal, if there's time, it'll be a bit of water butting and hopefully getting all the fixtures fitted, getting it tidied up, getting the water butts in place. But hopefully this should all be quite straightforward, provided I've got the glass measurements right, which, you know, well, let's find out, shall we? I've timed it perfectly. It's been raining all morning, but it's just starting to brighten up. The sun is trying, and I've meant to say as well, this is on the list for today as well, getting the auto vent fitted for the window. I have as well ordered a louver vent, but whether or not it's going to fit, I don't think it's going to fit this old thing, but we'll give it a go. It's not arrived yet. But I think I'm going to start with, oh God, this door. It's a bit temperamental. Sometimes it's fine. There we go. I think I'm going to start with these two and just see whether or not it actually fits. I really hope it does. It should do. It should do. It was so weird just the other day looking back at some of the videos from when I put this in 3 or 4 years ago. 2020, yeah, 4 years ago. And it looked so clean. It looked so clean and nice, this polycarbonate. But one of the big disadvantages for me about this kind of twin wall polycarbonate is it gets really dirty really quickly and you just cannot clean the insides. I tried to get some like strips to cover the gaps, but it just doesn't happen. You know, you're always getting kind of evaporation and stuff getting trapped inside. And they blow like crazy in the wind. That's the main reason I'm replacing them. Did not realise I had tools lent up against it. That could have been... Oh! It's fine. It's fine. My heart skipped a beat then. It's fine. Oh dear me. Just pop these out the way, shall we? Oh God, something else just made a really horrible noise. It was the water butt back here. Somehow this lid has just fallen in. Oh, I'm getting nervy. No more surprises, please. We're going to go nice, slow and steady with the glass. I must say, I was very impressed, well, I am very impressed with the quality of this glass. If you're local, it's from Atkinson's of Portchester. Absolute bargain price. I got all the glass you're going to see today. That's 7 pieces for 60 quid. 65 quid or something like that. Really, really good price. And it is properly thick stuff. I've used a lot of glass in my time, greenhouse glass, and this stuff looks really, really robust. It's just normal horticultural glass, but very impressed. Just going to offer it up and hopefully, okay, that's not right. Let's hope that's just the wrong way. That's more like it, yeah. That looks perfect, okay. Another slightly nervy moment there. Okay. Yes, sitting perfectly. It's sitting perfectly. Very good news, folks. I'm just going to check I'm going to put a few more clips in and then check the triangle, actually, because I'm a little bit worried this might be a little high. Oh, bugger. Somehow, I do not know how, but this is not actually quite right. It's just a little bit short. God damn. Right, it's not the end of the world. We're going to see, I'm going to replace the rest. I'm going to see whether or not these fit elsewhere. And if not, I do have a spare from that cracked pane, which I could cut to size and fill in on this one. However, if all 3 of them are short, then we've got a bit of a problem. I could just about get away with sitting this the bottom of this pane on top of this pane here, instead of overlapping them with the clips, but that makes me terribly nervous. I don't think that would be very wise, because if this pushes out with the force of the wind, then it might drop down, you know, there's nothing to hold it in. So never easy, never goes quite right, does it? But I'm sure we'll get there. Okay folks, now we have the moment of truth. Not very fun. I've got a really bad feeling about this. I think I cocked it up. I think I've really messed this up. And this is one of those things that make you wish you hadn't started recording and that you were doing this off camera. But we're here now, and I think I know what I've done wrong, but let's find out. Oh dear me. The thing is, it's not slightly out, it's miles out. I can't even, I was gonna pop in a little clip and get the camera up close and show you. But I can't even do that because I can't get the clips in. I don't know how I've got the measurement quite so wrong. Bugger. So I thought I had just got it wrong, you know, just use error, bad measuring. But I've just lined it up. I've got the polycarbonate panel underneath it and the glass panel on top. And it's like the glass is about a few millimeters out on all the sides. But when you hold this up, it's like, you know, there's centimeters missing. So I'm honestly, this is an absolute mystery. The next thing for me to do to figure out if I'm going crazy or not is offer the polycarbonate up to this gap. Okay, so what it is, and I thought I'd calculated for this, but it's the overlap in the middle down here, which has reduced the height of the glass, which means the triangle just isn't tall enough. God damn it. This is just so completely and utterly typical of a Naturally JB video, isn't it? I definitely thought that I had accounted for that little lip. I've got a bit of a backup plan, which involves taking some scrap glass and cutting maybe a kind of 4 or 5 centimeter sliver, which I'm hoping I might be able to pop in the gap there. Not ideal, I'm not sure. Let's give it a go. So plan B didn't go to plan. I didn't record it well. I thought I'd spare you. I thought I'd spare your nerves seeing the glass shatter into 1,000 pieces. But I am really hoping that at least, I'm basically doing this to try and cheer myself up a bit. I'm hoping that this piece will fit. And if this doesn't fit, then I might just end up screaming. This does mean, in theory, I have another chance to potentially cut this and get some little slivers, but honestly, I need like maybe 4 centimeters of glass, which is really, really tough to cut. It doesn't want to do it, folks. Oh, please. Not quite. I mean, this is going to go in, but it's not. I don't think it's going to be quite watertight. It's about half a centimetre too short at the bottom, and there just looks like there might be a gap at the top. That could be siliconed in though, actually. So not the end of the world. But what I wanted for this one was to have a bit more water tightness, because there's always been a bit of a leak at the bottom of the window. It doesn't look too bad though. Okay folks, it's been a little while now. I shouldn't get too excited, but plan B might be back in action. Look at this. I managed to do one. I managed to get one. Put a little cut on the end as well for the corner. Let's see. If this works, I will be very proud. It's not terrible. It's a little tight over here, but it's not terrible. Can you actually see what's going on here? Okay, so this one is way too big. Oh, bloody hell. But there's that was a few centimetres shorter. We might be in business, I don't know. I'm gonna have to spend a little bit of time fiddling around trying to figure it out. It turns out I was right to get excited. It didn't fit the front one, but it did fit the back one. This is, all things considered, slightly preposterous, but I think it works, and it really does feel completely solid. You can see the kind of layers here where the top piece kind of meets that little bit that I cut, and actually I think it works, you know. As always, I've just put plenty and plenty of clips up around here, but it looks okay, I think. So a bit of time later, I've given this one a go, and this one went really wrong. I've sort of put it in, but I think I'm gonna have to redo this. You can see it's split here in the middle, which is quite common with this kind of thing when you're just trying to do a thin one. And unfortunately, when I tried to put the corner on, I put some pressure on and this bit snapped. So now there's a gap here, which is not ideal, but 1 down, 2 to go. After what I think was about 4 attempts, I might have just got it. Might have just got one small enough. This one is just such a small amount of extra glass needed. And you never think it's gonna go, but then you kind of get it into the corner. And then when you drop it down, it sort of comes into place, maybe. And then you can slide it across, fingers crossed, moment of truth, go on, slide, go on. Nearly sliding. There it is. I don't know why this one is being so stubborn. I think we've got it. Oh, good Lord, folks. That has, I think that has taken a little bit of time off my lifespan. My nerves are shot. But I'm very pleased to announce a mountain of broken glass later, a mountain of failed attempts. We do have not 1, not 2, but 3 corners. The third one is in the back there. It is quite janky. Unfortunately, the smaller it gets, the worse it gets. You know, the harder it is to cut, the more wonky it gets. That one, I'm not too upset with. I think that one's okay. This one is quite far from ideal. It's got quite an angle on it, but I have been surprised at just how completely and utterly sturdy it is. You can really give that a tap. And it's not going anywhere. It's all good. This one right at the back was actually probably the nicest cut, the nicest finished, and it's no coincidence that this is also the biggest piece of glass. It's got a really nice bit on the edge there. But yeah, all 3 done. However, we're not quite done yet because there's this mouldy old horrible bit of perspex which needs to come out, and that means 1 more cut. And I've only got 1 bit of glass, so I've got to get this completely perfect. But I should be able to just offer this perspex up to the glass and get it right. I've got my iron now for the glass cutting, which is good. You know, I've had plenty of practice runs, so let's give it a go. It was starting to feel like the day was on the up, and we were making good progress. I've just offered it. I haven't done the cut yet. Don't worry, nothing too dramatic. But I've just offered it up. Look at this. It's like a fingernail's width that I've got to try and cut off this. Oh, this is so difficult to get right. So difficult. Someone has just very rudely started cooking burgers as well. I don't have any burgers, and now I'm jealous. Okay, we get 1 chance. Wish me luck, folks. I've had to develop a very strange technique over the course of today, which mostly involves using boards or planks of wood, bits of timber either side, to evenly distribute the weight so that you don't just get a crack in the middle. Here goes nothing. God damn it! Ah, so close. Oh, I hate working with glass. It's very important, I think, when you're dealing with anything that's a bit risky, like cutting glass, if you have a moment of frustration to find a little corner, take a little deep breath, find a moment of zen to chill out, which is what I did. I just walked away for a little bit, and then I thought, let's try it. Let's try it anyway and see what happens. And you know what? To my surprise, it fits because the cut was measured so perfectly, and because I'm such an amazing craftsman. Everything in here is actually really tight fit on the bottom and right at the top of here. And so I just propped this little corner in, and I can get 2 clips on it, which is quite good for the stability. And to my great surprise, it's holding quite well. Whether or not that's going to hold up to a storm, I'm not too sure. But we can find out one day, can't we? That it's going to serve its purpose for now. And although this wasn't quite the way I wanted to achieve the finish on the greenhouse, it is done. The damn thing is done. It looks so much tidier. If you don't pay attention too closely to the little bits of bodge, I could give that pane a clean actually, the one I've just put in. It is a little bit grubby, but the whole thing now is actually glazed with glass, no polycarbonate. You can see right through the whole thing. It's going to let more light in for the plants, and the main reason that I've done this, like I say, was just for storm security, for aesthetics, and for noise levels in here as well. On a nice rainy day, when you're in here and it's a bit windy and that thing is just bloody rattling the whole time, it really gets on my nerves. It really does grind my gears. So it's not perfect. It's a JB job. It's a JB bodge, but we got there. I am way behind schedule. I had so much that I wanted to do today. This has taken so much longer. Can you imagine that? A job taking me longer than I expected, but I'm gonna get to work on this next, the auto vent, which I'm hoping will be nice and simple. If you do want a little instruction video on auto vents, I'll link that in the description. The one that I did the video on is a bit of a different design of the one that I'm about to install, so I'm gonna install it and then just show you. Literally about 10 minutes later, there we go. It's in. You can see it's closed at the moment. This is still cold from the fridge. I did actually remember to leave this in the fridge before I came up today. The metal was really cold even though I've been up here a few hours. Once you've done one of these, it is so simple, and one of the best investments you can buy. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to get your hands on the Bayless XL. It's the easiest one to install. It's pretty reliable. Costs about 30 quid, and for me, honestly, just the best money you can buy. There are times where, you know, I've got absolutely no energy, or maybe I'm feeling a bit depressed or something, and to be honest, I would pay Jess to come up to the allotment one time and open the greenhouse to stop everything dying. I'd give her 30 quid. I would. Like, we do that every now and then. Like, you know, if one of us really can't be bothered to make a cup of tea, it's like, I'll give you 2 quid. And yeah, I would definitely do that with this. So spending that money on one of these, just best thing I've ever done. Water butts. I am really starting to enjoy this now. Now that the emotion has settled down a bit. It's just the little thing, like being able to actually see this staging. I don't know, there's just something about it. Very, very nice. I'm really into it. Now, the water butts. For both of these greenhouses, I've built them with the water butts at the back in mind. They used to be at the front, and they looked really bad on videos. Guys, that's genuinely one of the main reasons that I've moved them to the back, even though it is going to be less convenient because you've got to come out the door and then go around to the back, which is, like I say, you know, I know it's a little bit less convenient. Lots of people said, why don't you put them right next to the doors? And it's basically just a mixture of them being in the path and, you know, it just doesn't work for this area. If I have them at the back as well, I can have this as a little bit of storage, and it just works better. Okay, it just works better. So I've got the water running quite nicely. I just need to this one is super easy, so I'm going to do this one first. Give myself a little treat. I've just got some little plastic end caps to go on here, and then a little plastic bit that clips on at the other end. And I've just got some sticks like the proverbial to get it in there. I've not actually used this one before. We did have a bit of a debacle before where I tried to use some non-waterproof glue, and then immediately everything just fell out. I've got them just down here actually. You can see there's still a bit of glue residue, so I'm going to get that off and then just pop these in, and hopefully it will all be good. Try it off a little bit. It says that it sticks to wet stuff, but I don't trust it. I've immediately lost the end cap. It's in my pocket. It's a ridiculously large tube, but we do have some stuff to use this at home for as well. I'm trying to get it in without just smushing the glue everywhere else. Go on. Go on. Hopefully that will do it. Oh yeah, it's come out this side, it's nice. What the issue is with these is you normally get a little gap at the bottom where the water can just go under. And it's just going to be the same again for this one. This one is a slightly more precarious one, and the plan is to just stick a bit of hose pipe on there. It goes inside quite nicely with a bit of glue. Oh, it's just started raining. Oh, that's bad timing. It was not meant to rain again today. Bugger. It does say that it sticks to wet, so we'll find out how true that is. Looks pretty good. Trying to mould this hose pipe into roughly the shape that I want it to actually be in. And I've been kind of fighting around for a little bit. I glued all of the pieces in, apart from this one, and then I had a bit of a brainwave about the second greenhouse. And I don't know if I've like made it up, if it's a good idea or a bad idea or not. I'm going to glue this one in and then show you what on earth I'm talking about. The actual tricky bit, and I'm kind of running out of time, but the actual tricky bit is going to be getting the water butts into place and sort of making it tidy and level for them, because what you don't want is a water butt leaning towards your greenhouse and threatening to push your glass and break it. So I'm not really looking forward to that bit. I can't believe how long I spent on the glass today. But hopefully that's glued in. This is such a nice job to be doing as well. Like every other one this week, this is just like one of those things that has been on the to-do list for just donkey's years, you know. Sunshine. How kind of you to come out and blind me, actually. So we've got end cap, fantastic. We've got this end cap holding against the rain currently. This may or may not hold. When I did these before, just like this, the trick is to just basically use an ungodly amount of glue and just really get it in there. The first time I did this, these held for years eventually, but the first few times they did kind of fall out. So that one's in. This one was already in, but it was a bit leaky, so I've just given it a top up, and hopefully that will help. And the idea is, blue water butt is going to be for that one. This water butt is going to come closer. But what was my weird idea for over here? Well, I have tried to get similar plastic fittings for that greenhouse, but I just cannot find the right sized ones. So I had a bit of a brainwave just now, and it involves chains. And I don't know where I've seen this. I'm sure I've seen people use chains as gutters. You basically put a hole in the gutter, hook something on with a little clip, and then the water will run down the chain. Maybe not like 100% as efficient as, you know, a hose pipe and fully like stopped end, but is this like the most stupid thing you've ever heard, or does this have legs? Unfortunately, I've got a clip that does fit, but this clip doesn't fit the chains. I actually bought these chains for the polytunnel, for the floating shelf, but after I got them I realised they were too small, and I thought, I'm sure I'll still be able to use them somewhere else. I could put it on like that, I guess. Could put it through. Would that work? So the idea, clip goes in here. There's a little hole in the gutter already. Thread these through. I feel like maybe the chains are just going to be too small. I don't know if they're going to be able to accurately carry the water. I don't know, is this... I have honestly no idea. So I thread these through. They're roughly in half. I might actually put like a little loop of wire or something and then twist that off in the bottom there. But if I do that and then just dunk them in the water butt, will it? This might be so stupid. If you're sat laughing at me at home, then you know, I fully endorse it. You should be. Because I have no idea if I've just made that up. It's kind of filled the hole as well, so I think there's a good chance all the water's just going to piss out the end. Let me know what you think. Is this fixable? Is this a workable idea or not? So, were you laughing? That is the question. I am laughing because I remembered that I could just use some water from a watering can and test the chain, couldn't I? And if you were laughing at me, then you were in the right, because that chain is as useless or useful as a chocolate teapot. It just does nothing. It might have got about 2% of the water that fell into the gutter. So I've scrapped that idea, and I was looking around for another bodge. It's a real bodging day, and believe it or not, this is the worst bodge of the day. It's very good. There it is. I've got a bit of blue water pipe that I've hacked apart, and I've kind of glued it onto here. It's just ridiculous. But I've glued it in, and some hose pipe will fit in there with a load more glue. I do need to wait for the glue on that one to dry before I can test it. I'm not particularly hopeful, but if you've got any bright ideas, let me know in the comments below. My battery's about to die, the sun is setting, so I'm going to say thank you ever so much for watching. An extra special thank you to all of my Chili Pepper Tier patrons, Tony, Bill, Pam, Louise, Mel, Michael, Denise, Socks in the Garden, Andrew and Sarah, and hopefully I'll see you again in the next one.